You are currently inhabiting a biological machine that is aging by the second. You look in the mirror and you see a face, a name, a job title, and a history. But deep down, in the quiet moments between thoughts, you feel a disconnect. You feel like a tourist in your own body. That feeling isn't a glitch, it's a signal. You are not just a body with a soul, you are an ancient, traveling soul, currently wearing a temporary suit of flesh. We are going to trace the map of where you actually came from. This isn't just a philosophical exercise. This is an investigation into the architecture of your existence. We are going to look at the echoes of who you used to be, the specific mechanics of why you are here right now, and the ultimate, terrifyingly beautiful destination of this entire experiment. We are exploring the Atman, the eternal self, and its relentless journey through the machinery of samsara. If you have ever felt that your life is a script you've already read, or a road you've walked 1,000 times before, you are about to find out why. To navigate this territory, we need to understand the vehicle we are driving. Eastern traditions don't view life as a straight-line birth, life, death, silence. They view it as a wheel, a grinding, perpetual cycle known as samsara. The vehicle that moves us around this wheel is reincarnation. It is the idea that consciousness is energy, and like all energy in the universe, it cannot be destroyed. It can only change form. But a vehicle needs fuel, and it needs a steering mechanism, that is karma. In the West, we have butchered the word karma. We use it to mean revenge, or cosmic justice, or what goes around comes around. But in the original Sanskrit, karma simply means action. It is a law of physics for the soul. It is Newton's third law applied to morality. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. It is not a judge sitting on a cloud punishing you. It is a mechanical system. If you plant a cactus, you get needles. If you plant a mango, you get fruit. The universe doesn't care which one you plant. It just ensures the seed grows. Together, reincarnation and karma create the blueprint of your reality. You are the architect of your own joy and the author of your own suffering. Let's look backward first. Let's talk about the ghosts in your machine. In yogic philosophy, the mind is not a blank slate at birth. It is a field of soil that has been tilled for centuries. Every intense experience, every trauma, every obsessive love you have ever felt in a past life leaves a groove in this soil. These grooves are called samskaras. Imagine pouring water over a rock. The first time, the water flows everywhere. But if you pour that water for 1,000 years, it cuts a channel. The water has to flow that way. That is your mind. Do you have an irrational fear of deep water? Do you have a musical talent that came out of nowhere when you were 5 years old? Do you meet a stranger and feel a magnetic, electric pull that makes no logical sense? Those are samskaras. They are the deep riverbeds cut by the waters of your past lives. You aren't learning these things for the first time. You are remembering them. This sounds like poetry, but there are people who treat it like a crime scene investigation. For 60 years, the Division of Perceptual Studies at the University of Virginia has been the X-Files of academia. Founded by Dr. Ian Stevenson, they didn't just listen to ghost stories. They collected data, hard data. They have a file cabinet containing over 2,500 cases of children who spontaneously remember being someone else. These aren't teenagers looking for attention. These are 2-year-olds, toddlers who start screaming that they want to go home to a different mother in a different village with a different name. And here is where it gets chilling. In many of these solved cases, the researchers went to that village. They found the family the child named, They found the house the child described, and they found that a person matching the child's description had died exactly how the child said they died. Stevenson's work went even deeper, literally into the flesh. He published a massive, distinct medical dossier called Reincarnation and Biology. He documented cases where a child was born with a birthmark or a deformity that perfectly matched the fatal wound of the deceased person they claimed to be. A shotgun wound to the chest in a previous life becomes a dark, pigmented birthmark on the chest of an infant born 5 years later. It suggests that the mind is so powerful, the trauma of death is so violent, that it imprints a blueprint onto the developing fetus of the next body. The skepticism against this is high, and rightly so. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, but the sheer volume of correlations makes it difficult to simply wave away as coincidence. Then there is the attempt to hack into these files manually, past life regression. This is controversial. It is messy. Critics call it a fabrication of the subconscious, a dream state where we invent stories to explain our pain. And they might be right. But consider the case of a woman, let's call her Sarah. Sarah lives with a phantom noose around her neck, chronic pain, a fear of speaking, a feeling of strangulation. Doctors find nothing. In a regression session, she enters a trance and vividly hallucinates or remembers a life in 18th century France. She feels the rough hemp of a rope. She sees the crowd. She feels the drop. Is it historical fact? Maybe not. But the week after that session, the chronic pain she held for 20 years evaporates. The story gave her a container for her suffering, and in opening the box, the poison evaporated. Whether it is a literal memory or a psychological metaphor, the result is the same. The past is bleeding into the present. But if you dwell too long on the past, you miss the point of power. The point of power is right now, this second. This is where the mechanics of karma get actionable. We need to stop thinking of karma as one big lump of fate. The ancient texts break it down into 3 distinct warehouses, and understanding this changes how you play the game of life. First, you have sanchita karma. This is the silo. It is the vast accumulation of every action you have ever taken across 1,000,000 lifetimes. It is your total balance sheet. It is too heavy for you to carry all at once. If you had to face all your sanchita karma in one life, you would be crushed. So, the universe gives you a manageable portion. This is the second type, prarabdha karma. This is your suitcase for this specific trip. You didn't choose it consciously in this life, but your soul packed. This is your genetics, your parents, the country you were born in, the fact that you're 5'4" or 6'2". You cannot change prarabdha karma. The arrow has already left the bow. You can't call it back. This is what we call destiny. But here is the twist. Here is where free will enters the chat. The third type is kriyamana karma. This is the karma you are creating right now, in real time. This is your reaction to the arrow. You might be destined to break your leg, that's the prarabdha. But do you use that downtime to write a masterpiece? Or do you use it to become bitter and hateful? The event is fate. The reaction is free will. Think of yourself as a gardener. The seeds in the ground, that's your past. You can't stop them from sprouting. If you planted thistles last season, you are going to bleed today. That is unavoidable. But kriyamana karma is how you handle the weeds. Do you curse the ground? Do you poison the soil with anger? That plants more thistles for next year? Or do you gently pull the weed, accept the pain, and plant a rose seed in its place? This is the secret. You are constantly clearing the debt of the past while investing in the wealth of the future. You are not a victim of your karma. You are the manager of it. So where does this road end? Is it just an endless cycle of pulling weeds and planting roses? Birth after death, forever? No. There is an exit ramp. The destination has many names: moksha, nirvana, liberation, enlightenment. It is not about becoming a better person. It is about realizing you aren't a person at all. It is the collapse of the illusion of separation. Imagine a drop of water falling from a cloud. It feels individual. It feels alone. It fights the wind. And then it hits the ocean. In that millisecond, does the drop die? No. It becomes the ocean. It gains the power, the depth, and the stillness of the entire sea. That is moksha. Getting there isn't a one-size-fits-all process. The ancients described 4 distinct highways, or yogas, depending on your psychological makeup. For the thinkers, there is Jnana Yoga, the path of intellect. You use your mind to dismantle your mind. You ask, who am I? Over and over again, peeling back the layers of ego like an onion until nothing but the truth remains. For the feelers, there is Bhakti Yoga, the path of the heart. You don't analyze the ocean, you fall in love with it. You surrender through devotion, chanting, and love, melting the ego in the heat of pure emotion. For the doers, the hustle culture souls, there is Karma Yoga, the path of action. You work hard, but you hack the system. You detach from the result. You do the job perfectly, but you don't care about the paycheck or the praise. You offer the labor to the universe. By not clinging to the fruit of your action, you stop creating new karmic chains. And for the internal explorers, there is Raja Yoga, the path of meditation. You shut your eyes, you slow your breath, and you wage a war against the chaos of your own mind, forcing it into a state of absolute, crystal clear stillness. Most of us are a mix of all 4. We are messy, complicated travelers, but the map suggests that we are all heading to the same place. Even modern fringe science, like Dr. Robert Lanza's biocentrism, is starting to poke at these edges, suggesting that consciousness might be the fabric of the universe, not just a byproduct of the brain. We are slowly circling back to what the mystics knew 5,000 years ago. So, look at your life again. The annoying boss, a karmic teacher, the talent you take for granted, a gift from a past self, the struggles you are facing right now, the curriculum you signed up for. You are on a long, winding journey from ignorance to understanding, from the drop to the ocean. You have been here before, and you will be here again, until the lesson is learned. The map is in your hands. The vehicle is moving. The only question left is, how are you going to steer